or good afternoon. We're here to celebrate Andy. So today, what we're doing at church, most of us were not given the opportunity to give our tribute to Andy. We saw it fit if whoever wants to give his tribute to Andy. We have a camera here. We have friends here. We give a few, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whereby we are just giving tributes to Andy. How did you know Andy? What impact, whatever you want to give about Andy. That's why we are here. While we wait to see, we are making some little snack so that we can all enjoy and be merry. But let's be responsible. COVID is still alive. We need to know that. So if you're not vaccinated fully, you know, I'm from Texas. They say we can walk. It's a free state. We can walk as long as you're... What is Barakoa?
Yeah, outside.
Yeah, wait anakuja. Yeah, so if we can, please give our tribute. Enjoy the evening. I will start by opening it up with anybody with a tribute. They can talk. Wherever you are, just continue giving while you're here. Whatever you can say, let's have a good time. But please, if you don't mind, let's maintain the, the silence while somebody is talking, because people out there. Nakuru RFC is watching. The all of Kenya, the embassy, the president, I'm told the president is tuned in, is watching, because Andy was his friend. Andy was the president for us. Kumbuka serikal. So it was serikal. Anything you talk about the government, Andy knew. So for us, let's do it for him. If you can, mimi ninatoka nje. I'll MC kuja, anza MC. You can come and start.
Yeah, what's up? Charlie, unataka kwanza? Unataka kwanza? Ama wacha so, bas funga Charlie.
What am I supposed to
say? Say something about
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, about lakini kwasi.
It's good.
I'm good. We are those guys of God, guns, and freedom. Technology is not one of us. But, guys, to be honest, Kenyans, we can do a lot for each other. It shouldn't be kifo. It should be a guy suffering, we step in, we help a guy. Because at the end of the day, we are one family. To be honest, tukiwa mahali, tuko party, utakuwa Mkamba, Mkikuyu, Mjaluo, whatever, mzungu akikuwa hapo na kukue na Mnigeria mmoja na nini, Mnigeria akiongea mzungu atasikia vile tukiongea, atawaambia you guys are from the same place, but this guy is from... Na tumbagui, they are our people too. What I'm saying, we are all brothers. Tusaidiane in terms of shida, si kifo peke yake, because kifo should not bring us together. Should be party, man. Call me, tell me Charlie na chinja mbuzi. In LA, let's invite each other, let's help each other. Hii porojo kidogo kuvunjiana shingo, tuache tusaidiane, please. That's what Andy was all about. Andy was an annoying person, but at the same time, he was the great uniter. Andy was a great uniter. You tell Andy I used to have a buddy of mine called so and so. I've not seen him in 10 years. Andy will tell you, wait. He will call you a week later, tell you, hold on. Andy will be talking to your buddy, then he's reconnected you. That was Andy. So if there's one thing I'm happy about that guy, is me and Thompson were even saying, hey Thompson, we're going to suffer because the great uniter is gone. That was Andy. So, majama, let's stick together to saidiane. Siasa ni siasa, watu wa nyumba moja wako sana. I mean, we all have brothers and sisters and family. Vitu kwa mashamba, we know we kosana. But at the end of the day, let's stick together as family, not only in terms of death. Sa ile mtu anapigwa na maisha, let's step in. That's what Waisraeli wanatushindia hiyo. Waindia are doing the same thing in our country, na sasa mmeleta wa Chinese. Mimi sikuwaleta.
Thank you.
Na hiyo pombe ilienda pande gani?
Iko pale. Yeah. Asante sana Chalo. So, I'm an import from Dallas. Nilitoka Dallas, nikakuja hapa DMV. So I met Andy in 2010, I think. That was the cinema garden. When everybody's trying to go to Vegas and there's no flights to Vegas. That was the first time I met Andy. So I was wondering, who is this loud guy? Andy and the Marine, the guys who were leading the cheering. I they have something on their say Nakuru RFC. I'm like, the rugby club in Nakuru. Because watu wa Nakuru wamecheza rugby mara mbili sasa wanajisikia sana. Anyway. Watu wa Nakuru. Watu wa Nakuru wa Munyore wamecheza rugby mara mbili. So anyway, that's the first time I met Andy. And he told me he's from the DMV area, so I say, hey, when I get back home, let's connect. So met the big guy, Guillermo Joro, one of the friends I met here first. He told me, hey, Andy invited us to his place, let's go to his place, we're going to choma nyama. And we were introduced to the game of trivia. So me and Andy and some of the buddies around here, we've been friends, but been fast and furious. We had some episodes, we have some fights, we have some arguments, and it's been a love-hate relationship, but we're going to miss that love-hate relationship that we had with Andy. He's, like everybody says, a dictator, he's a commissioner, he's a city, he's everything you want to see in a strong man of Africa. So, on a very personal note, though, two things. My mom is in Dallas, so she was supposed to go for a funeral also a couple years ago, and she just realized her passport had expired. So she had to apply for, I think the story is very relevant to a lot of people here, to apply for the passport. So you have to do a thing online. And sometimes some of the directions are very, very clear. So she came here, and everything was wrong. And Andy say, hey, you're MC's mom? Like, yeah, you're my mother. So I'll leave everything else. I'll make sure everything is set up. He called my sister in Texas, because she's the one who has all the documentation, on the phone for about an hour to make sure everything is okay. She told my mother, before you leave here today, you're going to have everything you're going to have. And iyo matanga, utaenda. So that's the person that Andy was. He's dedicated to the work, and dedicated to his people, dedicated to his family, dedicated to his friends. 3 weeks ago now, I was going to Kenya in a very abrupt situation. So my Kenyan passport had expired. My American passport was expiring in 4 months. So they cannot give me a visa to travel to Kenya because within 6 months. So I called Andy. Say, Andy, I got a situation. I got to go to Kenya. And I don't know how I can do it. So, don't worry, I got you. You do this. I'll give you a travel document. We'll travel na hiyo passport ya Kenya. Ukifika Kenya, piga Swahili. Piga Swahili kwa custom, wastamp you ya American. Because when you're living in America, they don't custom, they don't stamp your stuff. If you get Kenya, I'll stamp your America, you come back. When you come back, I want a teenager. Let's sit down with a teenager. For those guys who know a teenager, it's a Glenfiddich 18. So I owe him a drink. I feel bad that I owe him a drink. It went too fast. I came back, and that Saturday, I came back on Sunday, and that Saturday that he passed away. So I never had a chance to sit down with Andy and give him a drink that I owe him. And that drink I will owe him until I see him again. So that's kind of, a lot of people have a lot of stories that are close to that. But that kind of person that Andy was. And until we meet again, his heart's going to be in our hearts. Thank you. Next.
Hey everybody. By name I'm Konye. Most people know me by Konye. And Andy was my friend. Andy tumetoka mbali. I went to high school with Andy. Andy was my senior in high school. And kwa bahati mbaya Andy alikuwa mjinga kidogo. Akariwind. He was in my class. Class yetu mimi na Tomse. Okay? This is very personal. Andy was in drama. He was a great asset to my school. Anybody from Nakuru knows about Menengai High School and drama. Andy was the heart and soul of drama in Nakuru. If you talk to anybody, it's a heartbreaking occasion, especially for Nakuru. Everybody from drama festivals, they know. Andy and drama, they were entwined together. Andy ni mtu wa watu. There is people and then there is Andy. Like, literally. Even if you are a stranger and you met Andy for the first day, Andy is going to let you know, like, he's going to show you who the real person is. There was no two-face, nothing. Andy was going to give you 100% of what it is. It's unfortunate that, everybody has, we all have an expiry date. Let's not lie about ourselves, Kila mtu. Tutagenya siku moja. It's just that we don't know when. Okay? Sometimes we're caught by surprise. Yes, I'm in the healthcare field and some people say, I'm kind of immune to it. But unfortunately, it never gets easy. Especially when it hits home. Okay? Andy tunazungumzanga na yeye. Andy unaweza kaa miezi mbili hujazungumza na yeye, anakupigia simu. Hey, konye, ukoaje? Hey, I'm good. And the story goes, like we never left. The same way. Andrew is one of those persons that you would talk to and you feel like, you are like, oh, calm and relaxed, It's been like, I was planning a big trip with some of my friends and I called Andrew like 3 weeks ago. I called him, hey, Andy, when I need a passport, when I need my visas, I usually send him passports and he gets them all fixed up, And then he told me, oh, nowadays you can do it online. Oh, you can do it online and get the Americans, if you have your American passport, all you got to do is do it online and they'll send you a IQ code and you get your passport, your visa, your visa online. You don't have to send the passports anymore. And that, it's unfortunate that's the last talk that I had with him. I was supposed to talk to him again, but that was the last talk. And then I heard, oh, Atiandi is no more. It's hard. Never been to DC before, unfortunately. I've always planned on a trip from the West Coast to the East Coast to come and visit him. And ananiambianga, hey, Andy, kuja DC tukunywe pombe. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come. Unfortunately, I never made it. I have to drink by myself here. I guess his spirit is here.
You do that all the time.
But Andy's spirit is with us. Andy's spirit is with us. But I have to say, Andy had a unique way of getting people together. No matter where he was, even if it was in Kenya, if he comes to LA, the last time was when the Kenya Sevens the rugby Sevens was in LA before COVID happened. Previously was in Las Vegas. Andy, wherever Andy was, Andy had a lot of energy that could bring a lot of people together. It's unfortunate that we had to lose him at such a young age. But again, it's also a good thing. It opens our eyes that each and every one of us needs to be aware that, again, it can happen to anybody, any one of us. Again, one thing from a medical perspective, I can say, Andy passed away in his sleep. He passed away peacefully. He did not struggle. Okay? Nobody was pounding on his chest. Nobody was like cracking his ribs. Andy passed away and passed on at peace with himself. And that's one of those things that I've taken comfort in. It was a hard pill to swallow for me. Like, me and Andy tumetoka mbali. This you're talking about like, 30 years plus. So it comes from a soft spot in my heart. And Andy is a good personal friend. Again, I'll miss him. But one thing that comes into mind at this particular point is, why do we remember people who have passed on? is how they made us feel. Okay? If somebody made you feel like a jerk, you're not going to remember him. But if somebody left a good soft spot in your heart, you're always going to remember him. Him or her, it doesn't matter. Okay? So it comes as a lesson to each and every one of us. Leave a mark to each and every one you meet. Okay? It does not matter. You can be enemies today, but again, make ways to be friends, to make a good, make, even if it's a hard situation, make the best of it. And that's what I would say. Because again, he has brought us all together here to celebrate his life. We're not here mourning his life, because Andy would not appreciate us mourning his life. We are here to celebrate his life, because Andy lived fully. Andy hakuacha, hakuna makasiriko aliacha. No. If you have makasiriko with him, it's you and yourself. Because Andy hakuwa na makasiriko na mtu yote. So, all I would urge each and every one of you guys is, be at peace with you and know that, again, live your fullest. Live your fullest. Because again, tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. Live your day today. Because raw you. That's the way Andy lived it. And we'll miss him. But his spirit lives among us. And hey, one love, Andy. We'll miss you. Cheers. Anybody else? What's it up? Kento baby.
Yes.
Kento baby.
Mi naitwa KK, to some who know me. KK or Minor. And Andy was a personal friend. For almost 25 years, Andy alini recruit in rugby. I was one of his protege, young kids coming up to play rugby in Nakuru. Na watu wa Nakuru tunajiita watu wa down chini, tuongea kizungu kwa mwenye ashiki ni sawa tu. Konye atataura. Andy alikuwa anasema mjeuri, si wote ni wajeuri. Mtu ni gap. Atutafutangi gap, tunaingia ndani yako. Well in my guy. Mzee tight, si ndio? Tight. Ana feelings, jeuri. He came to my home in Massachusetts, nimetoka Mass. The 2 times that he came, kama iko watu wa Mass, tulisemangi nikuwa na manga 73, 311, na 117. All right? That's, some people will know what I mean by that. Twende pamoja. 73, 311, na 117. Ananiambia keke, sin 24 hours. Namwambia 73, 311, na 117. That's my guy right there. I'm saying tight. Anywhere you go, Andy will rub you off. You know, his kama una same tight, kawe ni softy. Andy atakumold. Na anakuangalia tu anarudi anasema huyu ako na feelings. Another one, ni msoa friendly. Anytime hii kitu yonge.
It's for the video. For the camera.
Oh, 73, 311, na 117. 73, 311, na 117. 24 hours, my guy. Nah. Mtu ni gap, and that's pretty much it. We loved Andy so much. Na kuna wase wengi sana tight. Wase wa down nichi. And the last thing alikuwa nafanya, ukizuba, tulikuwa namuita friendly fire. He will just hit you for no reason. Anakuambia unazuba. And that's pretty much it. Love you, Andy.
Msao.
Nataka kuongea tena.
Unataka kuongea tena?
Aya. Number one thing, we come from the same village, man. And I found it in the wrong way. Because I came to America before him. So I didn't know Andy back in Kenya. No, I was a little bit older and stuff. It makes me angry because I moved here. And every time I tried to reach him, I couldn't reach him. He was very busy, and I understand, because of what I see. He was a busy man. You know, lazima, yeah, he loved Kenya, you know. Tutakutana mambo nyumbani tutazungumza baadaye. Anatoka Rarieda. Kuna Kokara, Konyuna, kwa kina Andy, alafu kwetu kwa Gwen. So all the same clan. So walikuwa najua, and we find out the wrong way because we were fighting. Mimi nilikuwa nataka kufight na Andy. Nilikuwa kefia. Andy is arrogant as he is. Me, I'm arrogant too. Anambia sijui nini wewe? Hiyo nondis my us guys. Of course, yes, we are us guys. We speak English. Us guys. The people man. Watu chini huko juu mnaenda wapi? Unapanda unaona farasi. What is it? Zebra? What do you call zebra in English? Oh, Swahili. Unaona nini? Zebra in Swahili? You don't know. Unaona huko hivyo unatembea. So anyway, we used to go to Nakuru Tens. Have some story. They know what happened. Charles. Chalo.
Where is yours? Chalo.
Chalo.
Kuna maswali. There is some question.
Chalo.
Kuna maswali.
Charles Okumu. Charles Okumu, kuja. Now, this is one person who explain to you who I am. Because he saw me.
Madondo.
Explain. So that ndo ambiwa juu nini nilifanya.
Umefanya mbaya kunirudisha hapa.
No, it's for that. For the video.
Pole. Hey, by the way, Madondo. So you guys remember when Nondis was only Jungu team? Ilikuwa timu ya wazungu. Mnakumbuka? Waafrika walikuwa wanachezea walikuwa wasaliti. Kuna watatu nitawanema hapa na wameishi hapa. Germi Joro was them. The late was one of them. Hapana, ngoja wacha mimi niseme story yangu, umeniita. Madondo was the other one. Wasaliti wa Afrika. Walituuza kwa wazungu. I'm proud of Madondo. My brother served my brother served too in the Marines. Wakikuuliza what's his name? Madondo. Marines. Huyu hao ndio lakini hawatusifu. But guys, let me 1 minute. I'm happy you call me back, okay? Let me tune you guys up because I see is not here, eh? I'm going to tune you like Andy would have done it, eh? See this? Bombay, in Andy. So, please guys, this for Andy. Let's do this for Andy. Sindio? Yes. For Andy.
Angalia video.
For Andy. His song is dedicated to Andy. Hapa na nisikia kama video hawana volume.
Watakuona.
Hiyo ni shauri yao.
Utakuona ukuta.
Tunaenda pole. Mos mama milka. Mama milka bori plele simsim ngwashe waru mauta yer pier shipoto tik tok nilienda Karomaindo kutafuta demu ya maini nikakuta akona Andy akasema chalingoja unikangoja mama milka bori plele plele simsi ngwashe waru mauta yer Pierre shipoto tik tok to akasema sasa chali sasa kuja nikaenda nikatoa nikasema Andy wewe sasa toka nikaenda na nimetoa Mama Melika, oh nikafuanya, nikamwaga, akasema chalo, nikasema Uba imekuja, si mimi. Mama Milka Bori plele chali yangu. I will still talk about it.
So anyway, that was the best one. I just got to give you a hint where we grew up in. I grew up in the 90s. I came in 2000. I spent most of my time here. You know, my basketball, my rugby, of course, was in Kenya, but you know, it was a lot of politics. You know, I was a Negro. I don't know, nilikuwa black, nilikuwa Miro. So mimi nilikuwa Miro. Kuna politics nyingi, but anyway, it didn't matter. Ya huko hivi, nikamwambia kucheza Kenya 1. Nini bana? Me. There was politics in the team. And akaniambia Madondo bana. Team 2 bana. Hapo ni malivita karibu ianze. So we came and talked, we found out we came from the same village. Literally, it's a walking distance. I had to tell my brother, the ones in England, wale wageni wanakuja nyumbani, hiyo boma itafunguliwa. Hawatalala nje. Umesikia? Kifika hapo hamtalala nje. Hata kama mtalala kama mmepangwa hivi. Mtalala nje. Kuna mafisi huko bana. Kuna mafisi na Brukenge. If you know Brukenge is monitor lizard. You don't want to be outside. Now bobcats. You better be inside. You can't be sleeping outside. But anyway, Andy is a good fella. I sent a lot of people to him. Walikuwa na shida. Oh, Madondo nataka hii. Sina namba yake hapa. Na forward. I felt so bad because I lived close by here when I moved here 6 months ago in December. I never got a chance to see him. He was always busy. You know, that really hurts. And it's unfortunate he's in nyumbani, but ni sawa. I think he's at peace because I'm happy he led in peace. Asante.
Hey guys, oh, I'm sorry. Evie. For me, I feel bad because is Bombay here? Here. I just feel bad because in the last month or so, I lost that opportunity to get with Andy. The first ilikuwa Bombay alikuwa anakuja kuchukua jazi za Kenya Exiles. Bombay's not here. Bombay alikuwa anakuja kuchukua jazi za Kenya Exiles. I had him. So we had a group chat. Tukakubali Bombay was coming to pick them up. Then the second part was when Kanye lost his dad. And I called Andy. That's a week before he passed. And I don't know if Misha is here. Ilikuwa tuende na Misha na Andy, but Andy was not available, so I went with Misha. So little were we to know that the next week, Bombay, Andy was going to pass. So Andy had a name for me. He used to call me Kibe. Some of you know it. Kibe was from rugby when we played rugby together. So so Andy used to call me Kibe all the time. Like, Kibe, you're not concentrating. Kibe, you're not thinking. Rest in peace, Andy.
How many of you remember the diaspora conference? The diaspora conference that was held by the Kenyan embassy hosted a few years back, right? That was 2011, right? So in the planning stages, I get a call, and the call came from Andy. He's like, "Where one mic, hapa." Na usiuliza maswali mingi, we itikia tu kazi, kuja MC ishiane hapo. I was like, okay, sawa, takuja. Na usiniangushe. So I was like, okay, good. So that is how I ended up being one of the MCs for the event, because Andy gave me a call. There are times, and many people attest to this, anyone who has ever interacted with or known Andy on a personal level, all you have to do is just call him, ask for assistance, no questions asked. Why don't you have that person call me, or what can I do, or let's meet. When things, whatever was happening, let's say within the embassy circles, you could get, Andy was instrumental, in like, okay, tunafanya hivi. I think even Mosh, when they were starting the process for processing the new passports, Andy was one of those guys who's like, listen, wase wabunge wako hapa, friends are here, they can attest. He's like, guys, don't waste your time, do this, ingia hapa na mnikute huko. So when the embassy was starting the process of processing passports, if you knew Andy, you are good, and many people can attest to that. And I mean, it's a huge loss. It's a huge loss, but Andy, rest in peace. Na alikuwa mchokozi yenyewe, because he was supporting kwanza Man U, Liverpool, Arsenal hapo. Ile kanande alikuwa nayo. But anyway, Andy, whoever is watching, all this of who Andy was and how he touched people. And rest in peace. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. Habari zenyu. My name is Wagura. Me and Andy go way back since, I want to say I met Andy in like 1999. So that's almost 20 years ago. He was skinny, young, ugly kid from Nakuru. So we played against him. We even had a nickname for him. We used to call him Ugly Man. Remember? Yeah, we remember. So later on I apologized because he got very handsome and I said, kumbe ni pesa. Pesa ndiyo inafanya mtu akuwe handsome. But Andy has been a friend for so long. We've been rivals on the field, moved to America, always friends, every time in Vegas. We always sat at the same section. Of course. No question. If I can't joke, it'll be too soon. But yeah, he was always there for us. He was always there for me as a friend. 2013, I got engaged. Sorry, ladies. Andy, so Andy drove all the way from DC to Atlanta to attend my engagement party. He came with Bruce over here. First time in America, they came together, introduced me to Bruce. There's nothing that, shows what a good friend that is. I repaid it back in 2018 when he lost his mother. First time in Kisumu, I traveled all the way to his mother's funeral. So it was me and Abdi, I think, who represented all the guys over here, guys from Bunge, who Andy introduced me to. And, that's basically our friendship with Andy. Close. I've introduced him. I was looking at my text messages with him. Probably 10 people plus. I'm like, hey, this guy's coming. No special treatment. Just take care of them. It's not even a hookup because Andy used to tell me, this is my job. Because we were so used to, hey, unajua mtu embassy. I'm like, just go to the embassy. They'll sort you out. Andy will always keep telling us. And he showed us integrity. It's like, hii ni jukumu yetu. Hii ni kazi tumepewa. We'll take care of you. So every time I said, I just used to tell him, hey, my cousin is coming. Say hi. He knows this is special treatment. But, he always, was there and said, just let us do our job. Andy, I know most guys over here are part of, Kenya Exiles. Kenya Exiles is a rugby fraternity of people who used to play rugby back in Kenya. Very involved. Me, Andy, and another guy called Benny were trying to revive Kenya Exiles rugby. All these old guys who can't run anymore, they're viewators right now, they're fat, they don't run. We're trying to get tips from Daktari over here to stay fit. And Andy was, we have new merchandise. Andy was the first person to buy our hoodies. Andy was very involved. He bought a room. We're supposed to be in Cape Fear this weekend. He bought a room. You guys were supposed to share a room together. He was traveling just to support the team. Sorry he couldn't be there. We also have another, group. It's called Bora Bora Lounge, and it was a big part of Bora Bora Lounge that, it's like One Mic Studios, but it's a virtual lounge. And he was a member, valuable member, always came and gave advice to guys. And, everybody from Bora Bora Lounge has sent their condolences. They're very sad, very lost. It's a huge loss for everyone. Guys who Andy has helped, they don't even know him. They're like, hey, man, that's a huge loss. So let's celebrate Andy. Andy, I love you, wherever you are. We appreciate what you've done. Brought all of us together. I've met guys who Andy introduced me to. We only see each other on WhatsApp messages. Great to meet you guys all. And, I love you all. Let's celebrate each other while we're here. Cheers to everyone. Cheers.
My name is Bruce. I think for the most part, I am who I am right now because of Andy. He introduced me to a lot of people here. He introduced me to a guy who made me the guy I am right now. I'm able to work and enjoy because Andy introduced me to somebody who job. Andy did a lot of things to make us all together, including dying today for us to be together today. So I won't even say much, but we lost somebody who was very special. I'm very sure the guys at the embassy, they're never going to fill that shoe. They're never going to fill that shoe. And all of us know that now, well, I guess Pape has to stand up and help each and every one of us, because Andy was a guy of his word, and he will do it. He's talking about 2018. The mom died. I was in Kenya, but I couldn't make it because uko ushago kwao kuko na network. So by the time I'm calling him, I couldn't make it. Guess what? Andy, I was home for 1 year last year. Andy came to my home, not home in Nairobi, all the way in Kisii. Just because I told him I was coming, but there's no way I was gonna reach to you. He came all the way, Miss Kufiwa, but he came to just repay the fact that he could not pick up the call for me to go to his place. So Andy was a man of his word. Let's all remember him with that. I'll dearly miss my guy. He was my guy. And I hope all of you remember him in the good way. The bad way, let's keep it on the side, but he was a man of his word. That's all I'm going to tell all of you. If he tells you he's going to do it, he was going to do it. So may his soul rest in peace, and may all of us enjoy his life and cherish him the way he will have wanted us to cherish him.
My name is George Mai. Mwache kufanya hiki kitu ni kama ni huzuni. Ndio kukuwa mtu wa huzuni ati mnakuja hapa na maridadi nini. Unaongea na kutukana na mnaendelea. So my name is George Mbai. I'm from Boston. Tumekuja na my friends Chilson Anzizi, Jumba Izo, kutoka sisi wote tunatoka Nakuru. Lakini tunaishi Boston. So Andy school in Nakuru, St. Joseph's Primary School. Na Andy alikuwa nyuma yangu one class. Alikuwa best friend ya my brother. Na tumejuana kwa muda mrefu, the brother, the family. Anyway, to make the story short, jamaa amesema hapa Andy alikuwa a man of his words. Andy ametusaidia sana kutoka Boston. Tulikuwa tukiwa na shida, ya embassy tunasema wacha tupigie Andy atusaidie. Anatupea advice, na hiyo advice anakuwa tuambia ikifika hapa nitawasaidia. Na Andy anatusaidia. So tumelose jamaa mtight. Na wale wase wa embassy mko hapa, tunataka kupata mwingine kama Andy. Mtupe namba leo kabla tutoke hapa, kwa sababu lazima tusaidiwe. Hii maneno tuko huko Boston, tunataka kusaidiwa huku na inakuwa ni shida. Hiyo maneno tumekataa. Na embassy ni yetu. You know. So tulikuwa na mtu kwa embassy ambaye anaturepresent na ametuacha. Hiyo ni pigo kubwa sana. Mimi came here in 2007 na the first road trip tulichapa, tulikuwa na the same team. Tulikuja tukashuka kwa Andy. Andy used to call me counselor. Now tuliposhikwa tumekula maji vizuri, akasema counselor unalala kwa kitanda yangu. Wewe lala hapo. You know, ni ile heshima tulikuwa tunapeana kutoka nyumbani. Na hata juzi tu nilituma mtu nikamwambia, alikuwa amekuja embassy mara ya kwanza, ya pili anapiga ukuta kutoka Boston. Akaniambia watu wanifrustrate. Nikamwambia ngoja, relax. Wewe hukuniambia kitambo. Acha niulize my brother yuko huko. Kuuliza aliambia mtume kwangu, mwambie fill form alafu mtume kwangu. Alifika hivi akakuta Andy hapo amemngoja. Akaniambia mazee, wewe jamaa mbona hukuniambia kitambo? Nimeenda mara 3. So alikuwa anakuja Monday, sisi tunampea maripoti Andy amekufa. Huyo mama alilia man. So Andy ametuwai. Lakini ni funzo kwetu, mazee tuchekiane. Hatujejua bado vizuri nini iliua Andy. Tungependa kujua kabisa, ni tuchekiane, tukue tunaangaliana man. Si ati na wiki mzima na bado umechill tu na kuvuta maji. Nijulie hali niulize ni aje boss. Tuchekiane. Huyu jamaa alikuwa anatuangalia sisi wote. Anyway, nimeshukuru sana. Unless watu wangu kuna mtu anataka kusema kitu hizo DJ. Okay, sawa. Asanteni
Amjamboni tena. Nataka kuhubiri, mkisikia hiyo ni kuhubiri. Anyways,
Ile yote nilikuwa nataka kusema, kama huyu alinikabele ndo sasa tuongeza kidogo tu. Andrew was a childhood friend after tukasoma naye high school then at Homse, and then in high school na kidogo after Andy ndo alikuja kanitoa kwa class form 1. Alikuja kanitoa akaniambia, wewe I think mwili yako unafaa utumie. Nilikuwa mkubwa then, but sasa hizi sasa kila mtu amekuwa mkubwa na baki kidogo. Akani introduce to rugby. Na vile amesema sana watu wa Boston, especially pastors. Actually pastors when waliona hii mambo ya Andy iliwauma sana, because a few of them walikuja kawasaidia. So to the Kenyan community in America, these are big loss, but Mungu alijua the reason na anachukua wale wazuri. So ameenda kwa sababu yeye alikuwa kati ya wale wazuri, but legacy yake iendelee huko embassy. Munua tu mikono amba tutachukua kwa sawa. It's been great. Na muendelee hivyo. And to the DC community pia, thank you for doing this for us. Tulikuwa tunasoma tu kwa WhatsApp, but I know there's so much you guys were doing to have such a successful occasion. Na muzidi hivyo kuzidi kuwa na umoja na tutaendelea mbele. Ama namna gani? Yes.
One last song to Andy. This is a special dedication by Andy's friends. So we're going to test their sound first, okay?
Don't block the picture. Don't block the picture. Don't.
Salamander, don't bite me. Don't bite me. Salamander, don't bite me. Don't bite me. Salamander, don't bite me. I'm gonna break.
Let's go. Let's go.
Salamander. Salamander, don't bite me. 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 Salamander, 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 don't bite me. Don't bite me. Salamander, don't bite me. 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 Salamander, 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 don't bite me. Don't bite me. Was he born so beautiful? Why was he born at all? He's no fucking use to anyone. He's no fucking use at all. Hey! Hey! He's no fucking use to anyone.
It's not fucking news at all. Andy! Andy! We love you, man. Man, we don't love you.